Well, hi, I'm okay, checking. Hi, I'm Ray. Can you hear me? Because I can't hear me.
I can hear you.
All right. Okay, I'm Ray Stewart, and I'm the guy that does Webfoot Designs, but I'm the vice president of this noble organization. And I'm happy to see such enthusiasm from the participants here. That's it.
All right, Diane, do you want to go next?
Diane, you're muted.
I clicked. Oh, sorry. I thought I clicked it, but I'm still working through technology. Diane Davis, I'm treasurer and excited to be part of this organization as well. Good to see you guys again. Happy summer. Bring on the rain.
All right. And next we have Janice.
Hi, everybody. Janice Arch. I live in Stowe, Ohio, in Summit County, wedged between Hudson and Cuyahoga Falls. I am your new secretary as of this week or last week, I guess. Happy to be here. Happy to talk about plants. Yeah, here I am.
Great. Excited to have you. Yes, we'll get more into that in a moment. All right. Kathy.
Hello, I'm Kathy Smacklow. I live in Shaker and I guess you would say I'm relatively new to this. I've been sort of getting emails and things, but haven't been able to watch many or join in very much. And I'm just involved in lots of plantings of all kinds, trees, native plants. I work with a lot of groups and I work in my own yard and have naturalized it pretty full of lots and lots of species of native plants. And just gave a tour last week and just wanted to join in and see what you guys are doing.
Welcome. Well, thank you for joining us, Kathy. We're excited to have you join us in person, per se. So our version of in person with regards to our meetings. So hopefully we're really excited to have you. Laura and Jack, do you guys want to go next?
Yep, we can go. So hi everyone, my name's Laura.
I'm Jack.
It's Jack. This is Dandelion. We almost named him Aster, by the way, just as a native plant name. He fit more of a dandelion. But so we also thought about milkweed, but Jack didn't like it. Anyway, so we live in Sagamore Hills, so just at the tippy top of Summit County. We have been in this group a few months, but I am the membership chair. So those of you who have become members or potential members, you've probably seen an email from me. And yeah, we are pretty new to native plants, but we're really excited. We have some land. We're trying to put plants in and really learn as much as we can. So it's been great to be part of this group and be active in some of the activities and the meetings and projects and stuff. So, and
I'm the web chair, and hopefully we don't lose internet connection with this thunderstorm rolling through.
You're not the only one. I thought I saw my lights flicker. So if the meeting goes dead, I apologize. Well, thank you, Jack and Laura. Marge, would you like to go next?
Thank you. I'm Marge Elhart. I'm in Bay Village, west of Cleveland, which is still Cuyahoga County, but on the very western edge. And we're getting hail here. My husband says it's the size of M&Ms right now. So I'm hoping it doesn't wipe out too many plants, if any. We were fortunate to work with Ray a couple of years ago, I guess it's been. This is their second summer, I think, to help us design 2 rain gardens. So I posted a picture earlier today of one of the rain gardens where we've got quite a few native plants. Both of them are fully native, but we keep working on adding more and more beds and more natives as we try to transition out of so much lawn and so many non-native species. So, and this is all new to me, so I'm here to learn as much as I can.
Great, thanks much.
Thank you.
All right, and Peggy.
Hi, I'm Peggy Vesu. I live in Huntington Township, which is just outside of Wellington in southern Lorraine County. I'm also a Lorraine County Master Gardener. I helped with the pollinator garden up in Amherst. I just happened to catch like an hour ago that there was a meeting, so I figured I would try to jump on. I've been out planting, so I'm a little grungy, but
You're in good company, Peggy.
yeah. And I'm waiting for this rain. It's getting darker and darker to the north, so.
And thanks for helping out.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you. All right. And then for those that don't know me, I'm Jessica Oster, I'm the president of our local chapter here. So thank you guys all for joining today. Really excited. We're not quite as packed on the schedule wise. So we don't have educational blip like we normally do. Just because we're in the middle of transitioning some leadership pieces, which you'll hear more about. I think several of you have already heard about a few things. But we're just in the midst of transitioning and working on some other projects. And then hopefully in the next month or so, we'll get back to that part a little bit. All right, so let me start. Give me 1 second. Share my screen here. All right, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
All right, fantastic. All right, so this is the season for like all of, or well, I shouldn't say all, but most of our flowers are blooming. So anybody want to talk about some of the plants that are blooming in your gardens currently?
I always feel like my stuff is always slow. I don't know if like we're in a weird pocket where we are. My Liatris is not blooming yet. My Culver's root is not blooming
Oh,
yet.
Janice, it's a little bit hard to hear you.
Uh-oh.
You
you hear
just
me
faded.
better?
You started off strong, but
I don't know where the sound is for this when I do it. I don't know. I feel like nothing's really blooming for me yet. Liatris isn't, Culver's root. None of my milkweed, it's all like right there, but nothing
Really?
has popped yet.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm surprised to hear that. Yeah, my Culver's root is it has been blooming, and this is the first year for it. My bee balm, some of it's actually already fading. My common milkweed has already bloomed. I'm trying to think. Black-eyed Susans have started to bloom. Some
Yeah.
of my blazing stars, but not all of them yet. Trying to think what else. So what else is blooming in your guys' yards?
Well, I'm really tickled at the royal catch fly
Ooh.
that seems to be doing really well. It's filling in nicely. I planted it last year. It didn't do a whole lot last year, but this year it's coming in better, stronger. And today I saw a hummingbird picking at it. And, you know, that was quite the treat to say, well, there's a lot for hummingbirds to have around the yard, but they're also using the royal catch fly as well. So hummingbird, I'm surprised to see how many different things hummingbirds come to. You expect the you know, the Monarda and the catchfly and the red things with the long tubes, you know, that seem like they're hummingbird things. But I've also seen them on Annis hyssop. What else? I borage. I've got borage in the garden. They've been at that. There's almost nothing that hummingbirds haven't at least checked out.
Yeah, I'm jealous, Ray. The hummingbirds, don't be wrong. I have red bee balm, which is why it's very specific for the hummingbirds. And that's the big magnet for me, but I almost never see them anywhere else consistently.
They even went to the dog bay. And I thought, well, dog bay, that's not a nectar plant for hummingbirds, but you never know. They may be looking for those little bugs that are around. You know, they may
That's
be
a good
picking off a few of
point.
the pollinators while they're at it.
Yeah.
So it's hard to know exactly. But
It's funny,
yes, they're-
I deliberately planted 3 blueberry bushes because I heard they're big for the hummingbirds, because I guess they're really good for nesting, but also because they're early blooms, it's also good for them, I think in the springtime. And I never see them around there unless they're hiding. So yeah. So anything
Yeah,
else?
the royal
that people are
catchfly
saying?
is my prize this week.
Okay. Anybody else want to talk about the flowers in their yard?
Well, I'm pleased my button bush is blooming. This is the first year to see blooms on it, so I'm happy with that. And the mountain mint is going crazy. It's just covered with blooms and bees right now, all kinds of things. I'm not seeing very many butterflies. My milkweed is in bloom, but I'm not seeing anything. There are very few. So keep looking for caterpillars every day, but I haven't seen any eggs or any caterpillars. So.
Yeah. Marge, I'm curious, how long have you had your button bush for?
It was just planted last year
Okay,
but it was in the summer, so it had already bloomed.
okay.
So,
I planted 2 baby ones last fall, and so I don't know if I'm gonna get blooms this year or not, so I was just curious.
yeah, these are pretty good size. They're probably between 2 and 3 feet tall. So they're
Okay.
pretty good sized ones, but I wanted to see what it would do, and it seems like it's taken forever once it had buds for them to actually open. But they finally did this week. I guess all the rain and sunshine and all helped, so.
Oh, good.
And they're attracting a lot of bees as well.
Yeah.
I will say I have a button bush as well, and Jessica, it might take maybe even another 2 seasons until you see buds on it, but that was the only thing that was blooming in my yard, and there's actually some of them that are on their way out now too, but lots of bees.
I've been hearing from online posts of people's there's blooming and stuff. I'm like, it might not make it this year. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's
When I
alive.
first
That's all that matters.
when I first got mine, it was sad. It was very exciting the first season that it bloomed, because it took like 2 seasons to get something on it, but it's worth the wait.
Good to know. That's okay. I have other things in bloom around it, so I know sometimes it's not the first year or 2, and I know things like the wild indigo and things like that is like 3+ years. So yeah. Any other interesting plants that are in bloom?
Well, I've had, let's see, lots of things blooming. I guess we're kind of ahead of you. Rosenweed, cup plant, buttonbush is finishing. Coneflowers, Monarda's finishing. I have Celine. And I have phlox that are flowering, Culver's root, several kinds of milkweeds, the swamp and the common, Leastris. Butterfly weed is finishing or is done. And let's see what else. Evening primrose, there's some of those flowering. Just
Where are you, Kathy?
in Shaker.
All right, I'm just wondering, your timing seems to be a little bit off from what others are, and
Yeah,
I thought, well, maybe you were further south, but that's not the case.
no, and Fringe Use Loosestrife. I think maybe mine's a pretty established garden. A lot of these have been there for a while. Maybe that's why. Like I have big button bushes. They've been there for years now and they're finishing up. So I have pretty established garden, maybe that's why.
Okay.
I feel like mine started blooming at least 2 to 3 weeks early this year. Have you guys been finding that out with your gardens? No? Okay. I was just curious. And maybe it's because mine are just becoming more established gardens because my big planting was almost about, it was about 3 years ago. And then obviously I've added to it since. So yes, but the oldest of the plants is now going into their 3rd year. So all right, well, let's move on. All right, so like I said, today we're a little bit later on the agenda, but wanted to welcome everyone. We'll be talking about some board changes, a little bit of an update on our chapter chartering process, other updates, and then just go over and review some of the more recent events and activities that we just did and accomplished, and then talk about our upcoming ones. And then we'll just have an open discussion. So this past month, we've gained several new members, as you can see on the page. And I'm very excited to say that we now have over 70 members for our chapter, so very excited. Laura, is there anything with regards to membership that you would like to add?
I didn't have anything prepared, but I think that we're starting to think a little bit more about how to communicate out our volunteer needs. And all of our new members recently have been able to fill out a survey kind of sharing what their interests are for the group. And so as we collect more of that data, I think that'll help us figure out the experience level of new members, and are they here to help volunteer for things? Do they want to be part of like educational opportunities, things like that. So as you all are also thinking about things, feel free to always let me know if you're looking for something different out of this group, or hope that we do something else that maybe we haven't talked about or done yet. So we're trying to figure some of this stuff out and collecting data on that so that we can make some changes that the members want to be part of and support.
Thank you for that, Laura. So I apologize, this might be a little bit out of order, but for those that were not aware, Stephanie Best was our membership chair. She did just leave us within this last month. So those that were on that call probably see a repeat of this, but just want to emphasize, she did such a wonderful job, but it was known that this was for a limited time. And now that she's stepping away so she can become more of a general member, relax, and prepare for her wedding that's coming up this next month. So we wish her the best of luck. But Laura was kind enough to step into her shoes. She's already helping Stephanie a lot with regards to this position, but we're really excited to have Laura and her experience. And as you heard Laura say, please come to her with thoughts, ideas, and volunteering efforts too. So, I know some people, volunteer time and availability changes from time to time. Things have changed even just with regards to the chapter's needs and what we're doing, even the last 6 months since we've been growing so quickly. So if you want to volunteer or do some additional activities, which we'll talk about some of the specific ones coming up, please do not hesitate to reach out to Laura and the leadership team. So Laura, thank you again for stepping up with regards to this. All right, next, Janice has been kind enough to step up as our new secretary. So Danielle has been doing a fantastic job. And I think she joined here just a few minutes ago. Danielle, are you on the line?
Yep, I'm here.
Hi. So want to thank Danielle so much for all of her help. She's obviously still helping us within this capacity. And over the next month or so, we'll be working together with Danielle and Janice to, I'm flickering. Okay, I haven't lost complete power yet. Okay, so be prepared. There might be an end of the meeting, hopefully not, but just in case. Really appreciate all of Danielle's help and with getting the chapter rerunning. And we're really excited to have Janice step into this role, so we have somebody more dedicated to this position, because really that's what's going to allow us to move forward with our chapter chartering process. Now, with that being said, Danielle's not going away. Danielle has been invaluable, especially with her knowledge and background with regards to native plants. For many of you know, she's does the LCC specialty gardens. Apologize. I'm really questioning if I'm going to have power here in a few minutes.
Wow.
Okay. So you see why I keep stopping here, right? We'll be talking more about that. But this will hopefully allow Danielle, once we have been able to transition things over, to really allow her to focus on the things that she has a passion for. So as well as her small business too. So
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
All right, who's next?
We gotta save that thumbnail of her picture. It's quite a horror movie.
Yeah, it is.
I guess
Well-
if I can introduce myself
Yes,
for
please.
a hot minute until maybe she gets back. So like I said, I'm in Stowe. I got my bachelor's in horticulture from Eastern Kentucky University. Went straight to get my master's after in landscape architecture. Been working at an engineering firm in downtown Akron pretty much since I graduated. And just recently got licensed to be an Ohio registered landscape architect. So it's been a long road.
Wow.
Thank you. It's been a long road. It's a great relief off my shoulders. But at my work, we don't do any residential, pretty much do any kind of commercial job you can think of, like retail. We work on school projects. If anyone has kids or grandkids that go to schools locally in the area, like we might have worked on them. Also do stream restoration jobs, which are kind of my passion because I prefer to work on like the natives and kind of the more natural ecosystems than a Taco Bell parking lot, but something has to pay the bills. So I took a native plant ID class in grad school, which kind of, started my native passion. I've taken a few like spring ephemeral, just like walks and ID walks through like the local metro parks, just to kind of like brush up on skills as the years have gone by, and slowly converting my backyard into, taking out all the nasty stuff and putting in the good stuff. So when we moved in, we had a huge, while our neighbor still has one on the side of their fence, privet that like, that was like the first thing that went. I told my husband, I was like, get the loppers, get the herbicide, like we're cutting it down, we're, you know, putting that on. So it's been a slow process, like everybody knows, and just trying to fill the beds where we can. But that's my story. I've been kind of searching for something new to do now that I have my licensure and I'm not spending my time studying, and I want to get something more involved with something like this than, you know, anything else. And so I talked to Jessica and she kind of, I don't know, she won me over. So here I am. Yeah, that's my story. Does anybody have any, I don't know, questions for me? That was
Well,
kind of-
thank you so much for taking over the secretary.
Sure,
position.
no problem.
It's not like, you know, it's not super involved. It's just super important, you know. And I'm in a lot of different directions. So it's nice that it'll get the attention that it needs. And
Yeah,
we're excited to have you on board, literally.
thanks. Thanks.
Well, I appreciate having a member of the executive committee that, you know, also has, you know, another member of the executive committee that has such a profound knowledge of native plants, and you know that will lend itself to so many of the other things that we do, other than, you know, keeping notes and keeping track of what we're doing, that, you know, the things that a secretary does.
Right.
But what will lend itself to all the other committees and all the rest of the structure that we do, and the education and outreach and that sort of thing. So I don't think we're going to let you confine your duties
Oh, no.
to
No, that's fine.
to being a secretary.
No, that's fine. I'm here.
Yeah, I will say Danielle has done some great like learning program classes and stuff with her knowledge, and those have gone really well. So if you're excited about that too, I know some of us who are newer to plants, we're always learning from everyone else. So
I was
Yeah.
excited to have more experts in the group.
I mean, there's a lot to learn. So I still have things to learn, but yeah, definitely,
yeah.
you know, have a leg up. So no, I'm happy to talk plants anytime. So throw stuff at me, and you know, anything you guys want to do, I'm here for it. So
Yay. So I have, looks like I have screen share access and I have the deck pulled up, so I can keep going if we want to. Oh, it says host has disabled participant screen sharing, so maybe I can, it said the green screen share. I thought I could do it.
Do we know who host is?
It's Jessica, but oh no, Ray, you're the host now. Ray,
Oh,
do
am
you,
I?
yeah, it says
Really?
you're the host.
I don't know how to be a host.
So I think you can hand it over to me. If you go to my name, I think you can make me a host somehow.
Oh, all right. Well, I will see if I can do that. Make host.
Yay.
Do I want to make Laura and Jack a host? Yes. All right.
Maybe. We might go out too again, so we'll see.
All
Okay.
right. I didn't know I had that kind of power.
All right.
Yeah.
So let me try to view full screen for us here. Okay. Well, this wasn't quite, but can you all see this slide?
I
Yes.
can.
Okay. Okay. So I know one of the big things was we are still looking for some other roles. So if those of you who are interested in volunteering to be on the committee or the board, but maybe didn't know where help was needed, we are looking for social media person. Anyone feel comfortable crafting social media content for Facebook and Instagram? We're looking for a communication newsletter chair. I know Ray is helping us this month on doing the newsletter, but would love to hand that off to
Yeah,
someone.
barely.
Yeah, would love to hand that responsibility off to someone. Both of these are important because a lot of our members, they're getting our content from social media, like they're hearing about our events through Facebook or Instagram. And then we also have a good population who they're getting everything from email. So we can't rely on just one or the other. We really need both. And then the program learning committee chair, this was something that there's been some help with that, but then we've had to rearrange where people were helping. And so right now we have been doing some learning programs. I don't know if Danielle or Ray or anyone wants to talk about what we've done, but those might be pausing or slowing down for a bit, and we'd love to keep them going. So if anyone is interested, you can create a committee that then members can attend and help you come up with ideas and things. But this is really to keep these educational events, make sure they're relevant to members. Those people who are newer like us to native plants, or those of you who are more experienced, like what do you want to hear? What do you want to learn? And then we're always looking for educational articles or posts. So, you know, we had a talk about No Mow May. Can't remember some of the other ones, but we've tried to create some for these monthly meetings where we talk about something educational for even just 10, 20 minutes. So if there's anything you're interested in, or it feels relatable based on the time of year, this is a good opportunity to send it our way. If you want to talk on a couple slides in a monthly call, that's always up for opportunities as well. If there's anything else that you're like, oh, this would be great for this organization, just email us. This email goes to all of us on the board. And we're always looking for other things we can do or places we can go, things like that. Okay, I know Jessica would do a better job, so I'm just gonna try to, okay, this one's gonna be hard for me because she's been working on this. Does Diana, Ray, are you all better equipped to speak to this? Okay, Diane, that's okay.
Sorry.
I can probably read it. That's okay. I don't want to put you on the spot. So we have been working really hard to become a full-on chapter. We've been technically considered a seedling chapter here at Wild Ones. That's really just been because you're looking for, oh, is that a chat? Oh, thanks, Janice. That's just been, that just means that we don't have, a lot of it ties to funding and stuff. So when you are a seedling chapter, you don't really have access to the money. Yep, there's our lightning. So we'll see how long we last. And then we have the charter itself, to become a chapter is really going to be able, whenever we get donations and stuff, we'll be able to leverage that ourselves. But in order to do that, we had to have these primary roles. So Janice, thank you. You have rounded us out with the secretary. So this is going to help us be able to do a lot more things and should be a pretty big deal. So I know Jessica's really excited about this, and we're hoping we can celebrate this later this year, maybe meet in person and have a social or something. All right, I'm going to try to get us through this before everyone's internet goes out. So we're looking at, there's a big Wild Ones National Program Office annual photo contest. So this is something that those of you who have really established gardens, my little baby plants, I have to take up macro shots because I don't have much going on right now. But for those of you who have gardens or are just round gardens and want to take pictures, they're always looking for photos for the contest. I know we, as membership chair, I'm also helping create some brochures for our chapter and for our pollinator pathway project that we have going on. and I'm looking for photos as well. So if you don't want to submit to the contest, but you would like to share for the chapter to be able to use, I'll give you a credit line, and anything is great. We're looking for pictures with our members in it, with kids in it, obviously pollinators, and lots of plants. So happy to talk to you all more if you would like to share photos, if you want to know what we're looking for. But then there's also this larger photo contest. Okay. Ray, do you want to talk briefly on these two plant sales, or the plant sales in the Amherst Rotary Park event, since you were there? Oh, maybe Jessica's back. Oh, yep. Jessica, are you back?
I am back. Thank you so much for taking over.
You're welcome.
It's been flawless.
So smooth, so smooth.
Laura, you're amazing.
I've done a lot, like my job is to present, so.
Yeah, but just on the fly like that, that's really good.
Yeah, pretty much. Now I might lose track of my internet soon. So Jessica, do you want to screen share again?
If you want to take that risk, but go.
Okay, well then I'll just keep it up now since it's working. So we were trying to get through this as quickly as we could so that in case we dropped again. But we just started on this slide, so I don't know what you wanted to chat about this.
Oh, no, just thanking for everyone that attended. Ray and myself volunteered, and this is at Anne's house. It was absolutely beautiful. We had a couple plant vendors. Hopefully we'll have another event here soon. We're in the works of talking with Anne whether or not we're going to do a garden tour and or a chapter social here in the near future, but TBD on that. But yeah, it was a really beautiful sight to see and whatnot. So Ray, and anything that you want to add with regards to this event?
Well, I'd like to point out in that image with you and I and Anne that I'm wearing my quite famous purple coneflower hat.
I'm looking really amazing in that. Did you get any bees, any pollinators coming to your head?
I'm quite well known as a pollinator. Yeah.
You guys actually don't see it in the pictures, but she's also a beekeeper. So she had what, 5 or 6 hives there?
Cool.
So, one of the amazing things at this event was that, she's got a mix of traditional exotic plants, but a lot of natives in there. And she had things like cup flower really well presented in her landscape. And the vendors that were there immediately sold out of cup flower, and the things that she had that were natives that were so well presented in that it just sold out. So this kind of describes the bridge that we need to have between, beautiful landscapes and native plants. And this event did that so well that you can have native plants that are not weeds, that are well cultivated, that are structurally and aesthetically included in the landscape, that are like the perfect specimens for those places, that you're not doing your landscape the right stuff if you're not including natives in it. And her landscape just describes that so well. I mean, she's not immune from, the exotics. There's some really perfect Japanese maples in there that, I wouldn't advise any other way. She's just got these great non-native things in there, but it is populated throughout with natives as well. And so that combination is something that, I hope to understand her creative imagination in that whole process. But she's done it, and she's done it beautifully, and she's done it with inspiration for all. And I'm very grateful that, she shares that publicly and brings us all in to see that. So kudos to Ann Cistrella for hosting that and sharing her imagination and her concept with all of us.
All right. Well, Ray, would you like to speak about the Amherst Rotary Park event?
Yeah, and that's a wonderful group of photos that you have there of all the people working. And I still don't know who that woman is, that young woman with child of just a few months. She planted so many, she did so much work with that child on her hip. And she was just there like, I'm gonna work, and this baby is gonna work with me, and I can multitask. And what an inspiration that was, and what a future that child has. I just can't. I mean, I get really emotional, and I don't know who she is.
I have a really good picture of you, Ray, with her and her child as well, but I only had so much space on this.
But I don't know their names, and it's like I was so busy doing so many things, and I'm just witnessing this young mother with infant helping us. It's like, wow, this is such such an event. So I mean that, and we've got 80-year-olds and 3-month-olds all participating in this. It's just crazy. And the plants are doing well. I've been up there frequently. I'm in charge of watering, so I'm up there, and I've added a couple of plants since then where there are gaps. And there's only been 2 or 3 plants that have not succeeded. Out of 600, I'll take that as good odds. And then I've filled in some blanks because I wasn't able to get all of the plants that I wanted for that. So there's a few more ferns that are going to go in there. There's a few more of this and that. That we're going to plug into the vacancies, but 600 plants in 2,000 square feet, a team of 20 or 30, closer to 30 volunteers that came to make this happen. It was just amazing. So Amherst Rotary, that club is in charge of this space, and so they participated. They came in and they showed up. I couldn't believe it. I'd been working for months to bring in the plants that were needed for this project. So I'd been purchasing plants, and I'd been digging plants up in my yard to be transplanted later. So all of that, I created this nursery of some 600 plants. And then the morning of the event, 7 pickup trucks showed up in front of my house to deliver all of the stuff that was needed to go up to this project. And it took that many pickup trucks, but it only took one trip. Because so many people showed up to do this. We loaded them up, we moved on up to the park just 3 blocks away from me. And we distributed them out in a really organized way because we had it sectioned off. It's like, hey, you're taking, you know, section A, you're taking section B and C and D and E and F. And so when they got offloaded, they were offloaded in the areas where they needed to be. So it was, the plants were close. And then I spent the rest of the day saying, okay, this plant goes here and there, and it just kind of, and I could not keep up with the workers. There were so many people there to put the plants in the ground. It was all I could do to say, this plant goes here, put it in the ground. It's like, okay, I didn't plant anything. All I did was like try to do the layout and try to stay ahead of the workers that were putting them in the ground. And there they are. What a great image of all these people doing that work. It was like, for me to take the design that I had made and, you know, actually implement that and put it on the ground and say, okay, these plants go here. I usually don't have to work that hard. But yes, we did. And I was staying ahead of these workers with, you know, to say, yeah, here they are. Go put them in the ground. And I turn around and there they are in the ground. And I have to stay ahead of them and go like, okay, here's the next wave. Put these in the ground. And so it was. It was just a wonderful moment. And we were gonna, you know, the work venue was until 4 o'clock. We were gonna, you know, whatever happened at 4 o'clock, we were gonna call it a day. We had everything in the ground at 3:30 because there was so much participation, there was so much effort. We got it all done. We were cleaned up and packed up and out of there by 4 o'clock. And I'm very proud of that effort, and it's looking good. And I'm up there frequently to water, and there'll be some weeding and there's some good follow-up and stuff like that. But it's looking really good. And last week while I was up there watering, some of the plants were more mature than others, but the bee balm is looking good and flowering. And I was able to see pollinator bees. I was able to see butterflies, and I was able to see a hummingbird come in to that new garden. So it's working already. And I don't expect good results for 3 to 5 years, but it's starting now. It's happening. We've got a pollinator garden that's going to benefit the community. It's going to be an educational opportunity. We're going to put interpretive signage and that sort of thing in there as well. So, you know, let's do that in every town, every community, every neighborhood.
Yes. Well, Ray, thank you so much for organizing and designing that. And I know several people on the line, on the phone today also helped. I know Peggy was there and Danielle, myself, as well as several others. So thank you guys all so much for your hard work with regards to this as well. And
I have to say, this is a Rotary project too, because this is the Rotary Park, and part of the Rotary mission now, starting just a couple of years, just in 2020, is the environment is part of the Rotary international mission. And so this Operation Pollination is what Rotary is calling it, is something that is being pursued and fanned out across the globe and in every club, every region throughout the world. So I hope this serves as an example to inspire the rest of this international organization as well.
Yep, and hopefully we're able to partner more and more with them, especially since there's so many local Rotary chapters. So yep,
Yes.
very exciting. So, all right. Laura, do you want me to take this part or did you?
Go for it.
All right, so I believe Laura already covered some of the other volunteer efforts that we're looking for, but this is specific to some upcoming events and activities that we have that we need one-time volunteers for. So with regards to another native plant or garden, I should say, installation, we have one coming up this Saturday, the 22nd, from 10 to 3 at the First Baptist Church in Shaker Heights. And this is with Ann Cicerella. So several of our members will be there. We can always use more. So I will be there, but only for maybe the first hour or two. Unfortunately, I have a bridal shower that I have to attend. Our second one, I should say. It's a busy time of year for that. But the exciting thing is this is going to be, my understanding, 3, and I'm only saying this because I don't see Anne was able to join. I believe this is going to be 3 garden beds at the church. So please note that if this is something that you are interested in volunteering for, just show up, make sure you wear, sneakers or, closed-toed shoes, bring gloves, dress appropriately, sunscreen, things along those lines. If for some reason, I think weather's looking good, but if for some reason it's a rain out, we do have a backup date. And also to be sure to bring extra gardening tools. So, yeah, we're really excited to participate in this project. And then in September 2nd specifically, we have the Medina County Native Plant Festival. So this is the first year or second year. I can't remember right now. And Shelly is not on the line, but Shelly is on our board. She works for the Medina County Park District. So we had it in here. Looks like we'll be also possibly Danielle may be a speaker at this event. So, but for sure, we definitely need volunteers for the information tables, and we might be doing some additional activities, but we're still planning some of that out. So if you're interested in volunteering for this event, whether for info table or other ways, please just let us know. Ray, anything else to add on that topic? I take silences, we're good. All right. So next, upcoming chapter events and activities. So as I mentioned, we have with Ann Cicerella, the native plant gardening that we'll be installing this upcoming Saturday. In addition to this, there's the Guy Denny Prairie Tour and native plant sale. Ray, would you like to expand upon this topic a little bit? Ray, if you're talking, you're on mute.
I think we only have a couple minutes of the call left, so.
Yeah, Guy Denny Prairie.
Actually, we have until 8:30. So, yeah, this is the Guy Denny Prairie.
All right, so I'd be happy to speak to that. I've been to this prairie. It's in Fredericktown. It's closer to Columbus than it is to Cleveland, but it's not far off of I-71. if you want to make that trip, it's well worth it. It's about 20 acres of prairie that has been created on the homestead of Guy Denny, who is a previous manager of Ohio Natural Areas and Preserves. He knows this stuff inside and out. He knows the botany and the ecology and the state of Ohio really well, and he's just created some of the most beautiful landscape in the world in Ohio for this. And then he and others of his capacity lead tours of this property at this time of year, this Saturday, to show people what prairies look like, what native plants look like, and what a lot of the plant choices that we may use in our landscapes look like in a more natural setting. So if you're wondering what your little piece of ground might look like, this is really quite an inspiration. And I've taken a lot of inspiration for it too. Like the things I've already shown you, the royal catchfly. I didn't know about royal catchfly until I saw it at Guy Denny's prairie and saw how beautiful it looked, and I said, well, I want some of that because it's so beautiful and it's timely, and so you might do the same. See what a real native landscape looks like and see how you might emulate some part of that that you're able to manage. It's a wonderful opportunity. And last year, Gail from Natives in Harmony was there with plans to sell. She may be there again this Saturday. I'm not sure.
She is going to be there this Saturday, from my understanding.
Okay, so you might be able to buy some plants.
Yeah, so because it is a native plant sale as well. In addition, one of the things that Ray mentioned to me, but I just want to make sure that if anybody that is considering going to this, is the tours start at 10 o'clock. So Ray, you said, I believe you recommended that if you want to participate in the guided tours, that you do want to show up a little bit before 10 o'clock because they actually start at 10 o'clock. But my understanding is if you're just going to walk the property yourself, then you can show up anytime during that time.
Right, that's exactly right. And I expect that there's going to be 100 people there, maybe 50 cars or more. There's plenty of parking. That's not an issue because it's a large property. It's just a matter of how far you want to walk from where you park to where you gather and then hike. So it's a place where you're gonna get some steps in, because there's a lot to see. But there's two different aspects of it too. There's like the main prairie, which is like 20 acres that has pathways that go around and through that you can see a lot of things. But Guy has also put these beds in near where everybody is going to park, like right at the beginning. He says, don't take seeds from this stuff. Don't do anything. This is my personal property, he says. The rest of the stuff you can, he doesn't care about because that's kind of naturalized. But he's got some really focused beds of native plants that are right where everybody parks and meets. And to me, that is the most interesting part of it because it's really concentrated and focused.
So great opportunity for photos.
I'm going to take my camera.
And that photo contest as well. And actually, speaking of photos, Laura, I apologize, this is because I lost my internet. Did you also mention about how you wanted people to send you pictures as well?
Yep, I brought that up too.
Wonderful. All right. So yeah, and the other thing I want to call it with regards to Guide Denny Prairie is this type of tour, while there is one other one that's seed collection specific, this is only open to the public like this once a year. So so it's a snooze you lose. But my understanding is it's a really great opportunity. Next, Diane, I see you're on the line. So Diane is hosting a garden tour this Sunday from noon to 1 in Akron. Diane, would you like to expand upon that?
Yes, thank you.
Mhm.
So for the Akronites, they may or may not know about the Mustel Store Museum, which is on the towpath on the Little Cuyahoga River. It's a restored old store that was part of the canalways. You know, people would stop there at the lock and go into the store and get their provisions, etc. And so the store is beautiful. It's really cool to see it in itself. But behind that is some more formal gardens, but it's all native plants. It's beautiful. They have weddings there and things like that. Now, I don't take care of that particular garden. The Akron Garden Club takes care of that, but it's really cool to see all the different native plants in a semi-formal setting, which is really cool to see, kind of like what Ray had said earlier about you know, looking at the plants as they've grown several years, see what they look like and pick out the ones that you want for your own garden. So that's a really cool part of it. Then across the street, kind of like further up the canal, a few folks a few years back added another huge, more of a prairie sun type garden. And I take care of that. I was there today, in fact, just doing some last minute things, but it's beautiful this time of year, especially because, as you all know, there's so many plants that are blooming. So it's huge. It's kind of on a little bit of a hillside. And, you know, it's got the false sunflowers, the cup plants, all kinds of milkweed with really, it's fun to watch all the different bees and flies and butterflies and moths come in. Anyway, there's quite a variety of different plants you can see in there, native grasses and the partridge pea and yeah, it's just blooming like crazy right now. So we're going to check out both of those gardens on Sunday and just kind of identify the plants and let folks check it out. So come on down. It's in downtown Akron.
Great, thank you, Diane. So I believe an email just went out as well as the invites the other week. But if there's any problems, questions, or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out and hopefully we'll see you. All right, so next on the list, so on August 12th, we have the Oberlin Reserve Tour with the Western Reserve Land Conservancy. So really excited. That's going to be another prairie-esque type of tour. And then, as we mentioned, we have the Medina County Native Plant Festival in addition to our chapter meetings and whatnot. So I won't go into everything else, but you guys can see there's a few more things on the calendar, and there is one or two more things that we're also looking to firm up, most likely in August. But if there's something you guys hear about, think about, let us know. You know, we may be considering some other activities as well. But for those that have to go, because I do see that, some call to actions. Laura, would you mind? Thank you. So I know many of you have heard this, but you know, in case for those that haven't, you know, please be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Facebook being the most important because that is where we put a lot of our events, activities, educational pieces, maybe not as much of late, which is why we're hoping to get more volunteers. but also for our chapter meetings as well as other educational online activities. You know, we have our YouTube channel. So please feel free to invite friends or family members that may be interested in some of these topics or just want to start learning about them to our Facebook and or Instagram pages. And like I said, inform us on any upcoming events, especially the ones in the upcoming months. Because one of the things that we want to start doing besides the 2 events that we have on the calendars, well, 4 if you include chapter meetings, you know, some fall events and maybe some even early winter ones we want to be aware of. If you're interested in volunteering, please reach out. We now have LinkedIn, so especially for those that volunteer, please feel free to, you know, add that to your resume and or your volunteer experience and connect with us on that. And if you're not already a member, please consider joining us. A lot of our events and activities are free to the public. And those chapter, you know, since we're a nonprofit organization, that is how we will be utilizing some of those funds to help with that. Though in the future, we may be looking at doing some more donation activities and things along those lines. So, yeah, so any other last minute questions, concerns, or updates? All right. Well, thank you guys so much for your time. Laura, thank you for taking over. I really appreciate it. I was very nervous about my internet staying on. Thankfully, it's stabilized. But if you guys have other thoughts and ideas, though, too, please don't hesitate to reach out. And we look forward to seeing you guys again in the future. All right. Thanks again, guys. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.